Good day everyone. For this video, I will demonstrate and explain most Python tutorial about string and arithmetic operation. Now let's get started. So we have here a string variable that is defined as string and arithmetic operation. So I name this string variable as activity. Now let's try to print this one. Print activity. So we have here the string and arithmetic operation. So we've learned from the previous activity that in order to create a string, we have to make use of the quotation marks, because the quotation mark signifies the beginning of the beginning of the string characters and the termination of the string characters. So what if we want to create a string that contains quotation marks inside the characters of a string? For example, activity double quotation mark string and arithmetic operation. Since quotation marks define the beginning and the end of a string, because of this format, Python will read this as an error. So what we need to do is to put a quotation mark the first part of our string and the ending of our string. Since we've already used the double quotation mark, then we will use the single quotation mark. Now let's start to print this one. Print activity. Oh, there we have it. String and arithmetic operation with double quotation mark. And also Python overwrites the previous variable with the latest variable we have here. For example, the activity in the first part doesn't include any quotation mark. However, in the second part, activity now contains the double quotation mark. So what Python will do is that it will update the variable. Now let's create another one. What if we want to create a string that contains multiple lines? For that scenario, we will use triple quotation mark. Activity hi, how are you? We have here a string that contains multiple lines. So the purpose of this triple quotation mark and the beginning quotation mark and the ending quotation mark is that Python will interpret this one as a string that contains multiple lines. So we have to use this triple quotation mark, because if we're going to use the single quotation mark, it will be a syntax error. So let's try to print this one. Print activity. Let's try to run this code. Hi, how are you? There you go. Now let's move to another activity, the indexing. Activity index. Print activity square brackets 0. So basically Python interprets this one is as the starting index, and starting index contains 0 index as 0. Then the second character 1, 2, and so on and so forth, and the last character is negative 1. This end here, it has a index value of a negative 1. So that's how we know, that's how we determine the index value of a character within a string. So what if we want to do it like this? So Python interprets this one as starting from a specific index up to this index, up to this third index. However, Python reads this one not as the termination of this code, but before this index character. So before 3, 0, 1, 2, 3 is R. So Python reads this as is str we have here. Okay, and then if we do it like this, it is a default function. Python interprets this one as the beginning. It automatically refer to the first character because it doesn't have any value, and it ends before the third index. So if we run this one, we will still get str. So what if we want to know the last character? Since last character is interpreted as -1 in the index value, so let's try to run this one. We will get n as our -1 index value, and also we want to start from index 2 character until the last character, because it is a default function here. We don't have to input any values, because Python will automatically interpret this one as the last character of this string. So if we try to run this one, we'll get this one, string and arithmetic operation, because it does not include 0, 1, because it starts from the character that has an index value of 2 and the ending character. So if we want to create another string by using the index function, for example, assignment activity square brackets colon, so print this assignment. We will get the same character as what activity has, because Python will interpret this one as the character contains in the activity from the starting character until the last character. So that's it for our indexing. Next is an activity. Let's try an activity. Name Mitch. So print name from the character that has a 1 index value until up to the character before the -1 index value. If we try to run this code, we will get IC, because it starts from the character that has 1 index value and ends before the character that has -1 index value, that is C. So we have here IC. That's a simple activity. Now let's proceed to formatted strings and concatenated strings. So let's create a variable. Name, my first name, Adrian J, class as anunciado. And then what if we want to create this description. Adrian J. Ananciado is a Filipino. So in order to create this description, we have to make another string variable, and let's name that string variable as description. Name for a moment. Name plus square brackets plus square bracket is a Filipino. Now let's print this string. Print description. Let's try to run this code. Oops, we have to delete this first to avoid errors. Forgot to delete this one. Let's try to run it again. So we have here what we wanted. Adrian J. Ananciado is a Filipino. This is a string concatenation. It is quite complex, so we will use formatted strings because it is a way lot easier. So formatted strings is denoted by an F. Print F curly braces name curly braces last is a Filipino. There you have it. As compared to this one, it is a lot easier, so we'll make use of the formatted string function. Now let's proceed to the different methods of Python, simple methods. Let's create another variable. Let's name again it as activity and string and arithmetic operation. Print. In order to transform all the characters of this string into uppercases, we will make use of the upper method. The upper method is activity dot upper. So what it does is that it transforms all the lower cases letters of this string into uppercases. Since S is already in its uppercase form, so it doesn't need to transform this one, but it will stay as it is. And similarly, we have the lower method, activity lower print. Similarly to the upper method, lower method transforms all the characters of a string into lower cases. Now let's try to use another method, the find method. Find we want to find S. So basically, find method is similar to the index function I've discussed earlier, because it will give us the index value of the character we want to find rather. Let's try to run this code. So it will give us an index value of 0, since capital S is the start of this string variable. But if we want to find the index value of arithmetic So we will get 11 as the index value because arithmetic starts from index 11. We have to take note that find method is case sensitive. So for example, what we're trying to find is not here in this variable. It will give us a -1. For example, arithmetic. Since arithmetic here is in capital, however, we were trying to look for arithmetic in small letter a. So let's try to run this one. So we will get a -1 because it does not exist in this string. Another method is the replace method. Print activity, replace s comma into let's say j. So the replace method replace the character we want to change. We have here, we want to change s into j. So the replace method change s into j. So we have here j string and arithmetic operation. Similarly to find method, replace method is case insensitive. So for example, what we're trying to replace in this string does not exist here. It will just give us the original value of this string. For example, we want to replace x to j in this string variable. Since x does not exist in this string, so it will just give us the original value of this string. And then we have here the blend function. Print activity, print len activity. So len function basically counts the number of characters in our strings. So for this string variable, we have a total character of 31. That includes the space here. However, according to Mosh, len function doesn't limit itself into counting the number of characters inside a string, but also it will count the number of items in higher programming. We have here our last expression, the Boolean expression, the in. In is a Boolean expression. Print and in activity. Because it is a Boolean expression, it will just give us true or false output. And we're trying to determine whether and is here in this string variable. Since and exists in this variable, we will get a true value here. However, if we're going to type a character that doesn't exist in this variable, for example, operations, we will get a false answer because operations does not exist here. That does not exist in this variable because our operation here doesn't include s. Now for our last activity, the arithmetic operation. So we have here different mathematical operation in Python. Addition is denoted by a plus symbol, subtraction is denoted by a minus symbol, division is denoted by a forward slash symbol, and multiplication is denoted by an asterisk. So if we're going to run this code, you get the answers here. So 3 plus 3 is 6, 3 minus 3 is 0, 3 divided by 3 is 1, 3 times 3 is 9. We have here a double asterisk. In Python, it is read as 3 raised to the power of 3, and that gives us 27. Also, we have here a double forward slash. Double forward slash is division. However, it would just give us an integer or a whole number. So basically 5 divided by 3 is 1.2, but this would only give us a whole number, so we will just have 1 as an answer here. And we have here the percentage symbol. Percentage symbol is also a division process. However, it would give us the remainder only. So if we're going to divide 5 divided by 3, we will have an answer of 1.2. Since we will get the remainder, so we will have here 2 as the remainder. In Python programming, we also have what we call as augmented assignment operator. So let's try to demonstrate what is augmented assignment operator. So let's assign a specific integer. So if x is x plus 3, then print x. So we have here an assigned value. 3 is denoted as x. So in this expression, x plus 3 is simply 3 plus 3. So this is just a simple expression. But in Python programming, we have what we call, once again, augmented assignment operator. So what it basically does, it simplifies this operation. Let's delete this first. So instead of typing it manually, we can do it this one. X equals 3. So Python reads this as x plus 3. So let's try to run this code. Let's delete this first. Similarly, we will get the same answer, but with simpler expression. And then we have also in Python the operator precedence. Basically, operator precedence is just similar to PEMDAS in math. PEMDAS is parenthesis, exponentiation, multiplication or division, whichever comes first, and then addition, or subtraction, whichever comes first. So let's try to make a problem here. Let's say y 12 plus 2 times 3. So basically, following the PEMDAS method, we will have an answer of 2 times 3 is 6, then 6 plus 12 is 18. So we should get an answer of 18. Print y. There you have it. Similarly to real-world math, Python also follows this format, the PEMDAS method. So let's try another problem. Plus 2 plus 3 raised to 2, print y. So we should have an answer here, because we should be getting an answer of 12 plus 2. We need to solve this first because it is in parentheses, so that gives us 14. And then next is the exponentiation. 3 raised to 2 is 9, so we have here 14 plus 9, that gives us 23. So we should be getting an answer of 23. there you have it. So operator precedence is just simply following the PEMDAS method sequence. And that's for our simple method of Python programming in string and arithmetic operation.